What's up, guys? Anthony here with Empire Music, empiremusic.com. Another banger out of the Fender Custom Shop 2022 collection. Man, what more can you say? This is like the fourth one in a row that's been absolutely fantastic. Although this one's a little bit different here, which is kind of cool. I think this is the first time I've ever played and reviewed and really experienced what we call the time capsule finish. But what the bass is the Vintage Custom 1957 Precision bass. This one is in surf green with the beautiful anodized guard on it. And it looks, at first glance, kind of like the NOS packaging, which is, you know, new old stock. So no relicking at all. But this is what's called the time capsule. And really, this is kind of made to feel like an instrument that was produced, you know, in 1957 and maybe played a few times and tucked away in a case. So that nitro finish kind of dulls up a little bit. So it's really not like a super high gloss finish. Kind of reminds me of the thin skin stuff that we saw come out for a while. Just a really thin nitro finish on there. But when you look closely at it, you can see it's kind of matted down in places and it's kind of gotten into the pores of the instrument a little bit. You see on the back of the neck. So very close to an NOS finish, but with a little bit of a broken in feel to it, which I think is fantastic. It's the second time I've used this adjective in the video. Sounds like something Todd would say. I know that's one of his phrases he always says. We get a lot of great instruments here in the shop, so it's easy to have some nice superlatives about these things because they're really a joy to play. What's really slick about this is it comes with flat wounds, and I don't think, other than maybe the 51s that have come through the shop, I can't think of any other custom shop that's come through with flats on it. So I kind of dig that. I think it just sounds great for a P bass. So 57 hand wound in the position here under the hood, so to speak. Volume, tone, we got the tug bar, all the stuff was pretty typical out of the custom shop stuff. Vintage medium vintage frets on it, so a little different fret wire, although I can't notice anything discernible playing wise different from our 6105s, like a medium jumbo, but I'm sure there is one, but to my, sometimes that stuff I just glaze right over it. 7 1/4 radius, 1-piece quarter sawn maple neck on it. Recipe for success, I think, there. So that's really, I think the time capsule kind of finish package and the flat wound string stock on it are sort of the outliers here, something a little bit different. Really, really like it. Sonically, just perfect. Perfect P bass, I think. Really, really, really great. So let's just kind of dig into some of the tones and we'll dig into it, we'll lay off it, we'll see the dynamic range of the instrument. So. So you notice with the flat wounds, you don't quite get that top end bite, but it's available with this instrument, no doubt about it. If you put round wounds on it, it'll sound a little closer to what I've been demoing in the previous few videos. And if I failed to mention, it's a 57 soft V on the back of the neck. I think I forgot to say the neck profile on this. So that's the same neck profile that we see on the 2022 collection guitar 58s. I own a bass with that. I think my 2018 58 black on black that I have is the same neck profile as that. Kind of right at home. I think that it's not such a noticeable V, that's why they call it a soft V. It kind of rounds out on the back there. But really, really comfortable for the player that doesn't quite want the slimmer C, but you don't want that really thick kind of U baseball batty thing. This is like kind of, I feel like the stop in the neck profile right before we get into the real thick baseball bat thing. So it kind of splits the difference there, but sorry, I forgot to mention that. So again, we'll kind of dig in. it back. Bring the hand back. Now what I notice here, especially I think it's just the flats on this, is we don't quite, we're losing a little bit of volume, a little bit of gain in attacking back here. See what I mean? It's just I had one really bad note in there that kind of pulled that volume back, but that's just the stickiness of the fresh flats, which is always a thing. But yeah, it doesn't quite have the same, and it shouldn't have the same character as if you would put rounds on this. So the rounds will make this a little bit more modern, a little bit tighter in the top end, where the flats keep that a little bit loose and a little kind of nasty. They're a little bit more growl to that lower fundamental in that, which is why I love having a bass with both on it. But again, I think it's really cool that this ships with the flats on it. So let's roll some tone off of that. And actually, let's play up the neck a little, because we didn't do too much of that. So get a new key center there. I love flats up around the 12th fret, like just really, really cool. And I think P basses in general, I just really love that character that we get out of it. It's one thing to sound good down here in the lower register, where obviously we're gonna be playing majority of the time. But man, it's something special when you can make those octave jumps, even something simple. You don't have to play anything complex. And a good instrument, and I think P basses do this better than anything, is they retain a lot of like the room filling sound. And I don't necessarily mean that with like low end, but when you jump up here, maybe on like a jazz bass, it doesn't have quite the same punch and the same presence. I think that's a good word for it, as a P bass would have. That's why I love a P, because up here, you don't sound weak, even though you're in a higher register. Still really round and warm up there, which I love. So we'll roll a little bit of tone off, do kind of the same thing. So here's full. Right, and we'll take about 80. great setting on this thing. It's one thing to have great full tone. That's all well and good, but man, this is like a magic setting on this thing. Killer bass. Love this guy. Very different, well, not very different, but a little departure from the 63s. And I mean, we sold all three of those 63s really quickly, that violin burst, the surf green, and the sunburst, all of which went to great customers. They're really enjoying them. This thing is a little bit different, especially with the flats, especially with the finish, but a whole different pickup in there, but equally as enjoyable. Man, it's been a great year for Fender Custom Shop, great year for P basses in general, all the way from our Empire 58s to the 63s to this, the Vintage Custom. All different and all great. So if you dig it, give me a call, 412-343-5299. You can email me directly. It's anthony@empiremusic.com. The Vintage Custom 2022 collection guitar or bass from the Fender Custom Shop. In stock now. If you're watching this video, it may not be, but I'll put a link below to our in-stock Fender Custom Shop basses. Hit me up. We'll see you next time. Thanks.